Today we're taking a look at the brand new LUMIX 100mm f2.8 macro. Now, in case you missed it, LUMIX recently announced a brand new lens to join their S series primes, and that is the 100mm f2.8 macro, and they were kind enough to send out a copy of this lens for me to test and give my thoughts about the lens. And with that being said, let's dive right into what I think about this lens, talking about the overall image performance. I'm gonna go ahead and say this lens is freaking fantastic. The lens is super versatile, being a 100mm f2.8 and having a new autofocus system. It has blazing fast, reliable autofocus. And so you can damn near use this as just a portrait lens. And on top of that, because of the fact that this is a macro lens, offering a 0.7 feet minimum focusing distance and a 1:1 magnification ratio, this is going to be a really versatile lens, being able to be used in normal scenarios, but also for things like product photography or product videography. And that speaks to me because I do a lot of product shots with this channel, being able to get more detailed shots of products. So this does serve as a really good portrait lens, but also a really good product or macro photography lens. And so again, really is versatile. Now, being a macro lens, you should not be surprised that there is some focus breathing, but I will say the chromatic aberration is really well controlled. I honestly didn't notice a ton, if any at all. And so that's really nice to see as well. But with all that said, I'm really happy with the overall performance of this lens. And so with that, let's go over and talk about the build quality of this lens, which in and of itself is one of the biggest selling features of this lens. One thing that makes these S series primes really attractive is the unification of the filter thread and the overall size of the lens. Now, I do believe that some of the lenses in the series are heavier than others, but for the length, they're all relatively the same. And for the filter thread, they all have a 67mm filter thread. And so now you have a whole lens set ranging from 18mm to 100mm macro that are all unified in the same size. Now, that's talking about the 100mm in this set of S series primes, but talking about it individually, there are a couple components I do want to notate. Things like you do have a focus limiter switch because there may be a wide range of focusing to help the autofocus be a little bit faster and snappier. You do have a focus limiter switch, you do have a manual focus and autofocus switch, and you do have a physical focus ring. Now, talking about this already impressive build with the size of this 100mm macro, you are also getting a dust, splash, and freeze resistant housing, which again, with all of this in this small package is just almost kind of mind-blowing at what LUMIX was able to do with this tiny lens. And so with that, I've just been super impressed with the overall build of this lens. And so that naturally kind of goes into what are my overall thoughts and who is this lens for? Now, quickly, overall thoughts. Again, I really do love this lens. It has been one that I've just had a ton of fun with and using. Talking about who this is for, I really do think that really anybody can benefit from this lens. If you're just flat out just looking for a solid 100mm lens, whether it's a macro lens or not, this is absolutely one I would recommend. Now, on top of that, if you're looking for a solid lens that is also a solid macro lens, this is the perfect candidate for that. And so if either one of those criteria match what you're looking for in your next lens, then I would absolutely check out and recommend the LUMIX 100mm f2.8 macro. And so that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like. And if you're digging the overall content from the channel, consider subscribing. If you do have any other questions about this lens, let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for joining. Go and find your journey. Go embrace life. Peace.